So as we have seen the time shifting operation on continuous time signal, that we have to shift that signal towards right hand side in case of delay and towards left hand side in case of advancement, or we can find the signal that is delayed or advanced version by replacing the value of t on both the sides that we have seen. Same procedures are applicable if we have to perform time shifting operations on discrete time signals also. So now we are going to discuss time shifting on discrete time signals. So again we will be having a signal x of n, and for that given signal x of n we have to find signal x of n plus n minus n naught. The same meaning we are going to follow, that is the meaning of this negative sign is again going to be delay, which means the shifting will be towards right hand side, and this positive sign is again going to introduce advance, and to advance any signal you just have to slide that signals toward left hand side. Now again you can see that if you are going, or we can take any example, we are taking any example x of n that is given to be, let it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to specify the origin, let it is point given origin at this value, n is equals to 0, it is origin, and at origin we are having the value 4. So now one more thing, if x of n is written like this, then what you say, it is value of x of n at n equals to 0, therefore this 4 point is also called as x of 0. This is the value of signal x of n at n equals to 1. After origin the value is n equals to 1, here before origin value is n equals to minus 1, here n is equals to minus 2, n equals to minus 3 and so on. It is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Origin only one arrow will be there, but here I have specified arrows just to specify the corresponding values of n. So it is value of n equals to 0. So this sample is known to be as x of 0. It is the value of x of n at n equals to 1, therefore this 5 can be called as x of 1 and so on. So it is your signal x of n which is given to you as like this. This 3 can be said x of minus 1, it is x of minus 2, this 1 can be told as x of minus 3 and so on. So what you have to do, if you have to perform time shifting operation, it means you have to shift this signal towards right hand side in case of delay or towards left hand side in case of advance. So to perform this time shifting more efficiently, what you can do is, you can pick this arrow, and if you are going to slide the signal towards right hand side, it means if signal is traveling towards right hand side, then this arrow will get shifted towards left hand side by the same amount by which you are shifting the signal. Like if we have to find x of n plus 3, then what does it mean? X of n plus 3 means due to this positive sign we must have to shift the signal towards left hand side, and if you are going to shift the signal towards left hand side, it means origin will be shifting towards right hand side. So if you are going to shift by 3 units, that is if this signal is going to be slided towards left hand side by 3 units, it means you will have to pick this arrow and you will have to shift this arrow towards right hand side by 3 units. Now if there are no sample values given before this one and after this 5, it means that all other values in this signal is going to be 0. All other values are zeros, that's why you can append that zeros if there is no zeros given. So now if you have to shift this n plus 3, it means you are going to shift this signal due to positive sign, you are going to shift this signal towards left hand side by 3 units, therefore you can pick this arrow and you can move this arrow 1, 2, 3 times, and therefore this x of n signal will be x of n plus 3 signal will be having all of these values that were previously contained in the signal, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now there will be more values as you are shifting 1, 2, 3 times, therefore you will have to take 2 zeros, and now this point will be represented as origin. It will be now n equals to 0 point. So you have obtained this signal x of n plus 3. Graphically, if the signal will be given to you as, now consider this signal, if it will be given to you graphically, then it would be like x of n with respect to n, values will be at n equals to 0, the value is 4. At n equals to 0, value is 4. At n equals to 1, the value is 5. At n equals to minus 1, the value is 3. N equals to minus 2, the value is 2. N equals to minus 3, the value is 1. So it is n equals to 0, 1, -1, -2 and -3. If you have to shift this signal, if you have to plot for this given x of n, what you are trying to plot is with respect to n you are going to plot x of n plus 3. So what you have did to find x of n plus 3, you must have to slide this signal towards left hand side. It means if you slide this signal towards left hand side, then this point, that is this sample which is now at n equals to 3, this will be slided, so it will be at -4, -5 and -6. This one sample will now be there at n equals to -6. At n equals to -6 the value will be 1, n equals to -5 value is 2, n equals to -4 value is 3, n equals to -3 value is 4. It is -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, here it will be the value 5. So after it is -2 point, it is -1 point, it is 0, 1, 2, after this all the values are going to be 0. So if you have to represent this signal in case of sequence representation, then how you can represent it? X of n plus 3 equals to how we have seen that to represent this signal sequentially. You just have to write down all the samples values moving from left to right. So you have written all the sample values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0, 0 and so on. And now to mention the origin, you must have to take an arrow. So at origin, what is the value? 0. This value this value 5 is at -2. Therefore, this value is at n equals to -2. This value will be at n equals to -1. So to specify the origin, you have to take an arrow map. So you can see now, it is the same signal that we have obtained if we have taken sequence representation. It is easier and it is more convenient as the chance of having a mistake, committing a mistake is less in this procedure. Therefore, whenever you are given the signal in exam in the form of graph, then still you must have, you should plot this signal in sequence representation, so that it will save your rough space and there will be less chance of committing a mistake. Again, these are two methods. Again, you can follow one more method, that if it is x of n, x of n is given to you as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 with origin at 4. That is, it is for n equals to 0, it is for n equals to 1, value at n equals to -1, this is value at n equals to -2 and it is at n equals to -3. Now again, what you have to do is, if you have to find out x of n plus 3, again it means you are going to replace this n by n plus 3, the same concept that we have seen in the case of continuous time signal. Now if you are going to replace this n, you are going to replace this n by n plus 3. If you have replaced it on the left hand side, then you must have to replace this n, all of n, on the right hand side also. It means that now the sample values will remain same. The values will again be 1 or 2, 3, 4 and 5, but now the values of n associated with this. Now it is n equals to 0, but you have replaced n by n plus 3. Therefore, here this point which was priorly specifying n equals to -3, now this value 1 will be occurring at n plus 3 equals to -3. You can get it. Earlier it was this sample value was occurring at n equals to -3, but now as we have replaced all n by n plus 3, therefore the sample value will be 1, but at which now this n plus 3 must be equals to -3. Similarly, for this, previously the sample value were 2 when n equals to -2, now this value will be 2 when n plus 3 would be equals to -2. Similarly, it will be n plus 3 equals to -1, it will be for n plus 3 equals to n plus 3 equals to 0, it will be for n plus 3 equals to 1. Now if you find the corresponding values of n, so if n plus 3 equals to -3, then you will be getting n equals to -6. Here it is n equals to -5, it is for n equals to -4, it is for n equals to -3, it is for n equals to -2. It means the signal will be having these values, and you are now having the values of n also. That is, if this sample value is at n equals to -2 and if the signal is not having any values, it means after this the values are 0. it is for n equals to minus 2, therefore it will be the value at n equals to minus 1 and it will be the value at origin, therefore now you will be taking an arrow mark. So now you can see that we can have three methods. First, either the graphical representation is given to you of x of n, then you just move with this graphical method only, that is, if you have to find x of n plus 3, then slide this signal towards left hand side by 3 units, you have obtained this signal. Second method, either you first represent this signal x of n in sequence representation and then just to slide this signal towards right hand side, you can take this origin and you can move this origin towards right hand side by 3 units. As you have to shift the signal towards left hand side, so origin will be shifted towards right hand side by the same amount of time, that is by 3 units. And the third method, if x of n is represented to you with mentioned with origin, that is, if you know that this is the point at origin n equals to 0, then it will be the value of x of n for n equals to 1 and these will be the values for minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. So now if you have to find x of n plus 3, then you must have to replace n by n plus 3 on all the sides. Therefore, wherever we were having value n, we just replaced all of these n's by n plus 3 and therefore now we have got new points of n, that is the signal will be having these values, but now this one will be the value at n equals to minus 6 and so on. So why we are taking this much time on this topic? Because these are the basics. It is not only the time shifting that I am going to discuss you, it is not only the time shifting, it is the basic procedure. In any of the operation which is related to time, we are going to make replacements, and for the timing, if you are seeing, if you missed to replace any of the n, then the answer will be wrong. So you must have to be careful that if you are taking a replacement, then that replacement must be done for each and every value of n on both the sides, then only the answer that you will be getting will be correct. So it is the process of time shifting. You just have to shift the signals toward left hand side or right hand side, and for that shifting you decide from the given sign. If it is plus, then you have to shift towards left hand side for advancement, and if it is negative, then you will be shifting the signal towards right hand side. Shifting the signal is maybe more complex, so you can go with shifting the origin, and if you are shifting the signal towards right, then the origin will be shifting towards right side, left side only. So now we are going to move to our next operation, that is by the similar concept. Now it is not necessary to individually represent that operation. You are now comfortable with all the operation, it must be in your mind. So let us see how you are comfortable. We are taking now the fourth operation, that is time scaling operation. At first we will be discussing it for continuous time signals. So if we are going to take time scaling operation, then for any given signal x of t, let it is x of t for your convenience, again we are going to take an easy example, let it is minus 2 to plus 4. Let it is the signal x of t with respect to t having value 5. Let it is our signal x of t. And for this given signal or for any given signal x of t, whenever you will be applying time scaling operation, then we have to find x of alpha t. This alpha is known to be scaling factor. This alpha is known to be the scaling factor, and it defines that whether the signal is going to be compressed or whether the signal is going to be expanded in time. So x of alpha t we have to calculate, we have to find the plot of x of alpha t, and if this scaling factor alpha, if it will be greater than 1, then you will be seeing that the compression of the signal will be taking place, and if this alpha is going to be less than 1, then signal is going to be expanded. By the similar meaning of this word compression and expansion, as you know that if you are going to compress any signal, then the existing duration will be shorted, and if you are going to expand any signal, then the existing duration will be extended. So it depends on this value of scaling factor alpha. Like how we can find for any given signal, as you have told that if you have to find x of n plus or minus n naught, then you will have to make shifting of the signal towards left and right side, left hand side or right hand side. Similarly, if you have to find x of alpha t, then to find x of alpha t, we are discussing only for continuous time for this time. So to find x of alpha t, you just have to divide all existing limits of x of t by scaling factor alpha. What we have written is, we have to divide all the existing limits of signal x of t by that scaling factor alpha. There will not be any change on amplitude or value of signal x of t by performing this time scaling operation. How you can say that it is going to be the time scaling operation? You can see here, as we have discussed that if it is x of t and if we have to find say x of 2t, and if we replace x of 2t and x of, here also we write 2t, then the plot will be the same, that is like this only. But now what we want is, we want to plot x of 2t, say alpha is equals to 2, and if you have to plot x of alpha t, that is x of 2t, but now we want to plot this function with respect to t only. Therefore, if it will be x of 2t and it will be it is 2t, then the plot will be same, that is the value of 2t is equals to 4 or value of minus is 2t is equals to minus 2. So if these are the points which were specifying the values of 2t, then the corresponding values of t will be what? T is equals to 4 by 2 here and t is equals to minus 2 by 2 here. So what you are seeing here, that the existing limits of this signal x of t is getting divided by this scaling factor alpha. Therefore, if you have to plot x of 2t, then x of 2t will be existing from t is equals to minus 1 to plus 2. What you have did is, x of t were given to you existing from minus 2 to plus 4. Now if you want to plot x of 2t with respect to 2t, then the graph would be the same, but now you have to plot x of 2t with respect to t only. Therefore, you have obtained the values of t. If 2t is equals to this value 4, then t is equals to what? 4 by 2. Similarly, if 2t is equals to minus 2, then t is what? Minus 2 by 2. Therefore, signal x of 2t with respect to t is going to be existing from minus 1 to 2, but the values will remain constant at 5 only as earlier. So you can again apply the second method, that is of replacement, to find the same value. As you can see that if you want to mathematically express the signal x of t, then what will be the representation? You will be writing x of t is equals to 5, but only if the value of t is in between minus 2 and 4, and this signal is going to be 0 otherwise. This signal is going to be 0 otherwise. Now what you have to find out is, if you want to find x of 2t, if you want to find x of 2t, then you are making replacement, that is you are replacing t by 2t. So if you have replaced on left hand side, then you must have to replace on right hand side also. As this value is independent of t, therefore you have written 5 only, but here you will be replacing this t again by 2t. You are replacing this t by 2t, and it is 0 otherwise. It is your expression otherwise. So here we have written the limits of 2t, but we have to plot the graph with respect to t. So we have to find out the limits of t. To find out limits of t, you will have to take individually first this limit. If you are taking, if minus 2 is less than 2t, it means this t value will be greater than minus 2 upon 2, that is minus 1. The first limit you have obtained from here, from this pair of limits, minus 2 less than 2t, or you can say that t must be greater than minus 1, the first limit. And the second limit you will be obtaining by these two, that is if 2t is less than 4, then t must be less than 4 by 2, that is 2. So these are the two limits, t must be greater than minus 1 and t must be less than 2. Therefore, you can write this function x of 2t will be 5 for minus 1 to 2, and it will be 0 otherwise. It will be 0 otherwise. So now again you are having the same value. If you are going to plot x of 2t, that is constant 5 in the duration minus 1 to 2, and it is going to be 0 otherwise. So you will be getting the same plot, that is x of 2t that we have plotted earlier. It will be existing from minus 1 to 2 having value 5, and it will be having value 0 outside that interval. So what we have seen that again replacement is the key, which can be used to perform any time related operation, and just by replacing the values of t on both the sides, you will be able to find out the plot of that resulting signal. So here also we will have to see that this scaling effect. Now if you see here, if you have plotted x of 2t, that is you have plotted x of alpha t that is equals to x of 2t. So the value of scaling factor alpha is more than 1. In this case value of alpha is 2, that is value of alpha is more than 1. So if you see here, previously the signal was existing in between -2 to 4, that is the duration of the existence were 6 earlier, but now after scaling it is existing only in between -1 and 2, that is the duration of existence is 3, which is now you can say that it is getting compressed. If the signal was earlier existing for 6 units of time and now it is existing only in between for 3 units of time, therefore you can say that the compression of signal is occurring. So now whenever the value of alpha will be greater than 1, then compression of signal will be taking place. Similarly, if you have to plot for this given signal x of t, let you have to plot with respect to t, you are going to plot x of 2t. Then what will be the value of x of, it is x of t by 2 if you want to plot. Again you know that if you have replaced t by 2, if you again taking be t by 2 here, then the plot will be the same. But now you want to plot x of t by 2 with respect to t only. So what you have to do is, you will have to divide these existing limits from the scaling factor alpha, by scaling factor alpha. And what is the value of alpha here? X of alpha t. You will have to compare x of alpha t, then you came to know that the value of alpha is going to be 1 by 2 for this case. And if you are going to divide existing limits by this scaling factor alpha, then 4 upon 1 upon 2, this limit will get changed to 8, and this 2 upon 1 upon 2, it will be -4. So now the signal will be existing from t is equals to -4 to 8 seconds, having the same value 5. So this is the time scaling operation on continuous time signal. Whenever you have to time scale any continuous time signal, then you just have to take the existing limits, that is leftmost limit and rightmost limit of the signal, and divide those existing limits by the scaling factor. And if the value of scaling factor is less than 1, then you will be seeing that expansion of that signal will taking place, and if the value of alpha is greater than 1, then there will be compression of the signal that will be occurring. So now we have to discuss the similar properties for discrete time signals, but for discrete time case we name these signals as decimation and interpolation. So we are not having space here, we will be seeing. So now if you discuss time scaling operation on discrete time signals. So time scaling operation on discrete time signals. So this time operation, again you will have to find, for given signal x of n, we have to find out x of alpha n. Again, if alpha is greater than 1 and alpha less than 1, there will be two cases. If alpha is greater than 1, then the procedure is said to be decimation, similar as we have taken for alpha greater than 1 in case of continuous time signal. What will be happen in case of continuous time signal? Compression will be occurring. Compression in discrete time domain is named as decimation, and as in continuous time domain for alpha less than 1, expansion would be occurring. So in case of discrete time signal, instead of expansion we use the word interpolation and interpolation. So these will be the procedure. Again now the procedure is somewhat different. In case of discrete time signal, we have to find x of alpha n for any given signal x of n. We will be taking the effects known to be as, if alpha is greater than 1, then we will be calling it as decimation, and if alpha is less than 1, then we will be naming it as interpolation. To understand the procedure, taking any example, first we will be understanding the procedure, that how we find that signal. After we have understood, then we will be seeing that how you can just by seeing the signal you can find out any scaled version of this discrete time signal. But before that we must have to discuss the basic property that is going to occur whenever you are performing time scaling operation. So say we have any signal x of n that is equals to, again let it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Let this is your signal. and let it is value origin at n equals to, let it is the value at origin value is 3. So what you have to find, you have to find another signal x1 of n. Let we say that we have to find another signal x1 of n, that is equals to x of 2n. If you see here x1 of n that we have to find from given signal x of n as x of 2n, so the value of alpha is 2 in this case. We want to time scale this discrete time signal x of n by scaling factor alpha, that is we are taking 2 in this case, and we have to plot the signal x of n. If you want to plot the signal x of n graphically, then you can definitely plot this. Take 2 axes, at origin make value 3, after origin take values 4, 5 and 6, and before the origin the values will be 2n plus 1. So now if you see here what we have seen earlier, that the value at n equals to 0, this is the value x of 0, it is value at n equals to 1, therefore it is our x of 1, it is our x of 2, it is x of 3, it is x of minus 1, this value is x of minus 2. So you have seen that in case of discrete time signals, samples can exist only at integer values of n. So whenever you are not getting n an integer, that means the value of signal x of n will not be defined at that point. Value of x of n can be defined only at integer values of n. So now if you see here x1 of n is going to be x of 2n. If you put n equals to 0, so x1 of 0, we have to plot this signal x1 of n. So what will be the value of this signal x of n, x1 of n at n equals to 0? You have substituted n equals to 0 here, so you will have to take n equals to 0 here also. So it will be x of 2 into 0, that is x of 0 only. And from the given signal, what is the value of x of 0? Value of x of 0 is 3. So the value of signal x1 of n at n equals to 0 will be same as that of value of x of n at n equals to 0, which is given to you as 3. Now if you are going to take n equals to 1 on both the sides, so x1 of 1 will be x of 2 into 1, that is x of 2. And from this signal, what is the value of x of 2? X of 2 is given to be 5. So it will be 5. Now if you take any value of n, that is integer greater than 1, if you take x1 of 2, then it will be x of 2 into 2, that is x of 4. And if you see here, value of x of n are defined only till n equals to 3, it is for n equals to 3 only. So after n equals to 3, all the sample values of x of n are 0, therefore the value of this x of 4 is going to be 0. Similarly, if you are going to take the value of this signal x1 of n at n equals to 3 or 4 or 5, then again you will be getting x of 6 or x of 8 or x of 10, and all of those values are given to be 0 in this case, therefore we don't have need to take positive values after t n equals to 2. Now if you want to plot the signal x1 of n at n equals to minus 1, then what will be the value? x1 of minus 1, we have taken n equals to minus 1, therefore this will be equal to x of minus 2. What is the value of x of minus 2? You can see here the value of x of minus 2 is 1, and before this value all other sample values are 0. So this value x of minus 2 equals to 1, but if you take x1 of minus 2, then it will be x of minus 4, and as the signal is absent, therefore the value of x of minus 4 is 0. So now you have taken all the values, x1 of 0 is 3, so if you want to see signal x1 of n, then it is having values, at origin it is having value 3, at origin the value is 3, at n equals to 1 it is x1 of 1, value at n equals to 1 is what? 5, value at more than 1, if you take any integer value of n, then all other values are 0. So all the other values are 0. Before n equals to 0, you are having x1 of minus 1 equals to 1, so it will be having value 1. But if you see, all other values before n equals to minus 1 are again going to be 0, so we don't have any need to plot that. So if you see here, before applying time scaling by scaling factor 2 on this discrete time signal were having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 number of samples. But after applying the shifting, the scaling operation, you are having only 3 non-zero samples. That is, this 0 is meaningless, it is not necessary to write this. So earlier it were having the signal x of n were having 6 number of samples, but when we have operated time scaling by scaling factor 2, then the signal that we are obtaining is having only 3 samples. So we can say that the samples are lost during this decimation. So it is important that samples are lost during decimation. That is, there is no procedure by which you can obtain the samples that were lost. If there would be the values in between, we are having now only 3 values, 1, 3 and 5. So we don't know that what values have escaped. If you have once taken the decimation on this signal, and if you have obtained 1, 3 and 5, then there is no procedure by which you can understand that whatever samples we have left and what was actual signal x of n. So during decimation, the samples are lost. So in the case of time scaling, what you have seen in case of continuous time signal, amplitude will remain same, but the duration of existence will decrease, and due to change in duration of existence, the area can be changed. So these are properties that I have not written in case of time scaling of continuous time signal, but you must do it by yourself only. So for the time being, we have seen that if we have decimated a signal, you can again apply this procedure by one more method, that is, if you are taking signal x of n, that is having value what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and these values where at the instance here you have taken n equals to 0, here it is for n equals to 0, it is for n equals to 1, n equals to 2, n equals to 3. Similarly, it is for n equals to minus 1, it is for n equals to minus 2. Now what you have to obtain? You have to obtain x of 2n. If you have to obtain x of 2n, then you are going to replace all the n's on right hand side also by 2n. You are replacing n by 2n on left hand side. Therefore, the values of samples will be same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But now it will not be the point of n equals to 0. Now it will be 2n equals to 0. It will be 2n equals to 1. It will be for 2n equals to 2, and it will be for 2n equals to 3. Similarly, it will be the value for 2n equals to minus 1, and it will be for 2n equals to minus 2. If you see, if these are defining you the values of 2n, but you will have to plot the signal with respect to n, therefore we will have to check the values of signals for n. So if 2n equals to minus 2, then n equals to what? N equals to minus 1. Now as this is an integer, so this value will come in signal x of 2n. But now if you see here, if 2n equals to minus 1, then n equals to what? Minus 0.5, which is not an integer. Therefore this value will not come in your signal x of 2n. Similarly, if you see here, if 2n equals to 0, then n equals to 0, which is an integer, so this value will be contained in signal x of 2n. But again here you can see you are having n equals to 0.5, so this value will not come in x of 2n. Here again we are having n equals to 1, so this value will be there, but here it is n equals to 3 by 2, that is 1.5, so this value is again not going to come. So we can plot, finally you have named this signal x1 of n to be x of 2n. So you can see here that the signal x of 2n will be having values. At n equals to 0, the value will be 3, at n equals to 1, the value will be 5, and for n equals to minus 1, the value will be 1. Therefore you can obtain the signal 1, 3 and 5. The similar procedure can be done for any value of scaling factor alpha, as we have taken here 2n, but if you have to plot x of n by 2 for the same signal, then using this concept, this is the same signal that you have obtained using the earlier method. So you can opt any method. Now we will be seeing that how we can define directly by observing the signal x of n and scaling factor, then what are going to be the value of x of alpha n. But for the time being, one more example we have taken, that as we have taken for x of n, these were the values, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These value were for n equals to 0, n equals to 1, n equals to 2 and n equals to 3. and it is for n equals to -1, n equals to -2. So now if you want to interpolate that signal, now we are taking scaling factor less than 1. If you take scaling factor greater than 1, then you have named it as decimation process, and if the scaling factor is less than 1, then you name it as interpolation. So to interpolate, we are taking any signal if you have to find out x of n by 2. So now if you compare here this signal by x of alpha n, then in this case x of alpha n, if it is equals to x of n by 2, then it means that alpha is equals to 1 by 2. You can say that here alpha is equals to 1 by 2, or you can say that alpha is equals to 1 by k. In general, if scaling factor is less than 1, then you will be having this scaling factor alpha to be of the form 1 by k. So now if you have to plot x of n by 2, then you just have to write down all the values. It will be remain same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But now these instants will not be for the values of n, as we have replaced n by 2. Therefore, n by 2 equals to -2, here n by 2 equals to -1, here n by 2 equals to 0, n by 2 equals to 1, and n by 2 equals to 2, and n by 2 equals to 3. So what is the values of n that we are getting? Here n equals to -4, here n equals to -2, n equals to 0, n equals to 2, n equals to 4, and n equals to 6. So now what you are getting, that let it is your signal x2 of n, you can name it, let it is x2 of n signal that we have to obtain, that is given to be as x of n by 2. We have to find out for given signal x of n, we have to find out any signal x2 of n which is related to x of n as x of n by 2, then you have obtained that signal. This signal will be having the value at origin. Value of at origin is what? Value at origin is equals to 3. So we have taken the value 3 and we have marked an arrow. Now if you see here, the next value 4 is occurring at n equals to 2. It means we don't have the knowledge at the value at n equals to 1, but we know that at n equals to 2 the function will be having the value 4. Again, the value that is we are taking next is occurring at n equals to 4. It means we again don't have knowledge about the value at n equals to 3, but at n equals to 4 the value will be 5, it is certain. Similarly, we don't know the value at n equals to 5, but for n equals to 6 the value is going to be 6. Similarly, before origin, next value is for n equals to -2, it means we don't have knowledge of value at n equals to -1, so we are taking a star mark, but at n equals to -2 the value is going to be 2. Similarly, for n equals to -3 we don't know, but for n equals to -4 the value is going to be 1. So now you can see that all the sample values of x of n, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, all these values are contained in the interpolated signal. It is called as, this signal is what? Interpolated version of signal x of n, and you have taken this signal, it is what? This is decimated, this is decimated form, decimated version of signal x of n. So whenever you will have to decimate and we will have to interpolate, then the scaling factor decides whether we are going to interpolate or whether we are going to decimate the signal. So what we can see that if we are decimating, then the number of samples are lost. Either earlier if it was there were 6 samples in x of n, then after scaling by a scaling factor 2, that is after decimation, we have seen that number of samples get reduced, and therefore we have written that samples are lost during decimation. But in case of interpolation, you can see that if there were 6 samples in x of n, then all of those 6 samples are contained in signal x of n by 2 also, and apart from that samples, we must have to append some values in between the samples. So these values, now we can talk about the types of interpolation. Types of interpolation. It can be of several types. It can be of several types. The first type is, that is more commonly used, is zero interpolation. The types that we are going to discuss of interpolation is nothing but whatever value you are going to append at the places of these star marks that you don't know these values. So, some values must be appended at the places of these star marks, and based on that value that you are going to append in between samples, you are defining types of interpolation. If you are going to append zeros at the places of these stars, then you call that interpolation as zero interpolation. It means you are going to append zeros will get appended in between samples. How many zeros will be talking later. So, for the time being, zeros will get appended in between the sample values wherever we have used star mark. Similarly, the next type of interpolation can be unity interpolation. It can be unity interpolation. Unity interpolation, by the name itself, you can judge that unity interpolation, unity means ones. Similar to that, as we are appending zeros in between samples, if instead of zeros, if you are appending ones in between the samples, then the procedure of interpolation in that case is known to be unity interpolation. That is, you are going to append ones are appended. At the places of star mark, you will be appending ones. Similarly, there can be average interpolation. So, in between samples, now what you will be appending? You will be appending the average value of the signal. And what is the average value? In this case, how many samples you are having in x of n? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 samples values are there. And what is the total area of the signal x of n? How you calculate the average? You first sum all of the values and then you divide that overall sum by the number of values. So, here you are having 1 plus 2 that is 3, 3 plus 3 that is 6, 6 plus 4 that is 10, 10 plus 5 that is 15 and 15 plus 6 that is 21. So, 6 sample values have given you the sum 21. So, the average in this case will be 21 by 6. So, if you append at the places of this star mark, if you append the average value of the signal, that is sum of signal, that is area of the signal divided by total number of samples, that is given to be as the average, and if you take the average of that signal at every instant of these star marks, then this procedure of interpolation is going to known as average interpolation. That is, you are going to append average value is appended. And what is this average value? Average is equals to what? Area, that is summation from n equals to minus infinity to infinity x of n. What is going to be the average? It is the area divided by number of samples in x of n. So, it will be giving you the average of signal x of n. Similarly, for the particular question, it may be asked to you that to append in between these two samples, you will have to take average of two consecutive samples. That it is, if you have to replace this this star mark, then linear average can be taken as 3 plus 4 that is 7 and 7 by 2 that is 3.5. So, this value would be 3.5. Similarly, 4 plus 5, if you are asked to append the linear average of two samples, that is 4 plus 5, it is going to be 9, 9 by 2 that is this sample value will be 4.5. So, these can be the several types of interpolation. Now, what we can conclude? What we can conclude is, if you are taking any other example, you can say let x of n is going to be 1, 5, 9, 11, 13, 6. Whatever value it is, doesn't matter. So, if you see here, if it is having origin at 11, if you are going to find x of 2n. So, what is going to be the value of x of 2n? You are going to replace all n's by 2n. So, it is the value at n equals to 0. If 2n equals to 0, then n equals to what? 0 only. So, it means after interpolation or after decimation, whatever process you are applying, the value of origin will be maintained at origin only. That is, if x of n has origin at n equals at 11, then x of 2n, it will also be having the same value at origin. So, origin value will be same. So, now we are discussing the procedure just to obtain the value of signal x of alpha n. So we can write some points here to find x of alpha n in case of alpha greater than 1. What you have to do is skip alpha minus 1 samples starting from origin value on either side. What you have to do is you will have to maintain the value of origin, and then we have taken value of origin same as in x of n and x of 2n. We have taken the value at origin to be same. Now what we have to do is we have to skip alpha minus 1 samples. What is alpha? Scaling factor. In this case, what is alpha? Alpha is 2. So we have to skip alpha minus 1, that is 2 minus 1. We have to skip one sample in between all two samples. So if we are taking 11, then we will be moving towards right hand side or left hand side, skipping samples. So you will have to skip this one sample, it will not come, then the next sample value will be 6. As there are no more samples on right hand side, so your signal will be terminating at this point only. Before origin, you are again said to have skipped the values, number of samples will be alpha minus 1. So one sample you will be skipping, you will not be taking this, you will be interleaving this sample and you will be taking 5. Again you will be leaving this sample, and as there are no more samples in the left, therefore you will be having the signal x of 2n to be like this. Why it has happened? As now you have seen that if the signal x of n, then the values of n equals to 0, n equals to 1 here. If it is for n equals to 1, and if you will be replacing by 2n, then 2n equals to 1 or n equals to 1 by 2 will not give you the integer value of n, therefore this sample will not be there in x of 2n. So you have seen, this is the simple reasoning why we are skipping these samples, we have seen earlier. So whenever you have to take any type of decimation, like for this signal, if you have to plot x of 3n, then you just have to maintain this origin value will be maintained, and alpha minus 1 samples we will be skipping. So what is the value of alpha is here? 3. So you will have to skip now 2 samples before taking the first sample after 0. So after 0, that is after origin, you have taken that value. After origin you have to skip 2 samples, and as there are only 2 samples after origin, so you will not have to take any value after origin, that is it is going to be 0 only. And before origin, again before 11 you will have to skip now, these 2 samples will be skipped, 5 and 9 will be skipped, and you will be taking the value this one. So before origin you will be having the value 1. It is your signal 1 and 11 at origin, it is your signal x of 3n. So simply just by observing the scaling factor and the given signal x of n, you can write in sequence representation or you can plot in graph any signal x of alpha n. It is the procedure of decimation. It is the first point. If you have to decimate and if you have to interpolate, then if for alpha less than 1, x of alpha n, it can be written as x of n upon k, where we are writing that alpha is equals to 1 upon k, where this k must be an integer. This must be an integer and this k must be greater than 1 also. If alpha is 1 upon k and if alpha is less than 1, it means this k is greater than 1. So if you have to interpolate, then as if you have to decimate, then what you do? You skip alpha minus 1 samples. You skip alpha minus 1 samples in between 2 samples. Now in interpolation you have seen that we are going to append samples values. So if you are interpolating by alpha, that is equals to 1 upon k, then you will have to take k minus 1 samples in between each two samples of given signal x of n, again starting from the origin. Starting from origin to both sides. That is, again the value at origin is going to be maintained. The value of origin value at origin of x of n and x of alpha n will be same. After each value you will have to append, you will have to take k minus 1 samples in between each two sample values of x of n. As let it is your x of n, let you are having x of n is equals to 1, 2 and 3. Let it is your signal 1, 2 and 3, it is your x of n values. Now if you are going to perform x of n by 3, what does it mean? It is x of alpha n. Alpha is equals to 1 by 3 if it is less than 1. It can be written as alpha equals to 1 by k, then k is equals to 3. So you will have to take k minus 1 samples. Now these samples can be zeros, can be unity, that is 1, can be average, can be linear average, can be anything that is given to you. Unless specified, you will have to append zeros in between. Unless specified, we take only the case of zero interpolation, that we use to interpolate zeros in between the sample values. So if you have to interpolate it by a factor 3, so you will have to take 3 minus 1, k minus 1, that is 3 minus 1, that is 2 zeros. In case of zero interpolation, you will have to take 2 zeros starting from the origin. So you have written the origin value, that is 2. Now in between these 2 and 3, there will be 2 zeros appended between each two terms. Therefore similarly again you will be having 2 zeros, then it will be 1. So it is your signal x of n by 3. Similarly, if you have to find out x of n by 4 for the signal, then you have to interpolate 3 zeros or 3 values in between each two samples of given x of n.